So look, tell me what this looks like. Come here. Look at John's setup here. I don't know if you're old enough to know this.
Nice.
Doesn't it look like Tron?
Yes, it does.
He can, Johnny. You can hear me.
All he needs is the.
No, he can't, huh?
I can hear you.
Yeah, it's echoing. I can hear. Yeah, it's over there. Yeah. Your computer's done. It's a crazy day, man. We're moving at 100 miles an hour over here, and I know that you are too.
Of course.
Johnny, good
Yes, sir.
afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too, sir. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We had a nice little workout today. We started the Blitz. We're in it 2 days in, and it's going crazy. I know that you're dieting. Oh, and there goes Johnny. But just for you guys, yeah, we started the Blitz. We were rocking and rolling, and he's back. That's a good question there. Let me get that. Hey, Doc, you got it. Sorry about that. Will you make sure that door's shut so the dogs don't run that way? Johnny, talk to me, my man.
How you doing, man? It's been an obviously productive day. Things are going 100 miles and 110 miles an hour, just like you, you know. Been good though. Been good. I definitely got some good news today from some different.
Save
pharmacies.
that. I know. You want to give him right off the bat? You know what? I think this is smart to do that.
Yeah.
Also, will you put the number at the bottom of the screen, Jeffrey, just so we can have them see this? Guys, I'm gonna turn this over to Johnny. Johnny has said he has some news for me. I kind of, and this is for everybody here. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, worldwide. This information is great for us that are using peptides. Johnny, take this away.
Yeah. So I was going through my emails today, and I get emailed by a lot of people for a lot of different things, whether it's vendors or athletes or whatever it is. I don't get to check it all the time, so I kind of have a folder. I'm kind of going through things. I seen a pharmacy that contacted me, and it was very interesting what they said to me in the email, and that's what caught my attention. They said, "Hey, John, we know at Type Medical Center you guys have a high volume, a big number of patients. You guys have been around for a long time. We can offer you some certain different products that maybe you might not be able to find somewhere else, and we're able to do it. And at that point, we'll make you a priority. So if you do want to come aboard and you want to start using some of these different products, we'll make sure that your patients get taken care of quickly and expedited. Because some pharmacies are, 7 to 14 days on some of their turnarounds if you're not a priority for them, because the bigger accounts, it's the bigger money, that's who they take care of." So what he told me was, this is the point, is that, hey, listen, we can compound HCG. I was like, you can compound HCG? I was like, well, about a year and a half ago to 2 years ago, the bill went into place where you couldn't compound HCG anymore. You had to have a biological license to manufacture HCG. And most of the compounding pharmacies did not do this at all, right? They knew it was coming. They just decided that they weren't going to get it because maybe the FDA was going to balk or something was going to happen where they wouldn't need to get it. So all the places stopped compounding HCG. And the only place that I knew formerly to this was you had to buy it commercially. So Pregnol from a big pharmaceutical company called Merck. So at that point, the cost was extremely high, almost double, maybe 2.5 of what a patient would pay for it before. So this is huge news for them because a lot of patients liked HCG, and HCG went away because, one, they couldn't get a hold of it, two, financial issues, but they liked the way it was going. They were on this program for 5 or 6 years. So this is something that's coming back. So at that point, this is like really exciting for me because we're going to be able to reach out to patients that were really upset on not being able to get this, even for fertility reasons, at an expensive cost.
Yeah,
So
that's
this-
where I'm lost on something. Is that main reason is facility. Most doctors, especially for guys, that's something that is used if they are trying to have kids,
Right.
along with a secondary. But that is one thing that they do recommend.
Of course. So I mean, if people could still get it, but like I said, they're paying an extreme amount of cost for it from a big pharmaceutical company instead of getting it compounded from a compounding pharmacy, which is almost half the cost. So that's huge. That's definitely a big one right off the bat. But then they said that, listen, because I asked them, obviously, I was like, can you do peptides? Are you still doing peptides and all this? They said they're still doing the peptides, and they have an FDA auditor, basically, that works for them now. That was a former FDA auditor, I guess, and he knows the loopholes and knows how to get around it. So I'm really excited about that too, because listen, the longer I can keep around peptides for people, the longer I benefit from it, and all the patients benefit from it. And I'm talking about for myself health wise, using BPC 157, TB 500, and such. So that's a big one. And the other ones they were talking about is tesamorelin. So tesamorelin was a big one that, obviously the FDA ban list would not let people use it. So this is one they can do. And the other big one that I think right off the bat would be FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, an injectable. This is great for anybody that wants a fertility protocol or really wants to ignite their FSH. And igniting FSH could increase testosterone levels because it helps with LH2 as well. So there's a number of different things that are coming that I'm very, very excited about, just from the pharmacy end of getting with these new pharmacies and being able to offer patients what they really need or really what they want, at that point. So I'm excited. I'm super excited, super pumped about it. And yeah, I'm getting ready to go.
Well, you're not the only one. I am too.
Of course.
And then the Titan, medical members have to be pretty pumped that this is going to be something that's available or continue to use at this point.
Pumped. Seriously. We'll see how it goes, because, they said that they've been inspected by the FDA twice already with the compounded HCG and the peptides and stuff like that. And FDA hasn't said anything. They said, you guys are good to go.
Wow.
So I'm excited about it. I'm definitely excited about that. I've got some other things up my sleeve that are coming in 2024 too as well for therapies. So it's just one thing after another. The more we can offer people, the more options in these different therapies, the better it's going to be, for sure, 100%.
I love that. I got a question for you.
Sure.
Because I have this question over here, and this guy's talking about how's the quickest way to get back in it. And so what I noticed is, so I started the 30-day blitz.
Yep.
And I noticed within 2 days, my sleep, I'm waking up earlier. I'm getting that good sleep. And I get that, I'm always eating on a plan. I'm always doing this. But it's that little extra motivation, which is kind of exciting. Like I'm waking up because I'm on this real intense plan that gets me motivated to go, I want to get going. I want to get my workout in now. I'm waking up earlier again and earlier. And I just noticed it within a couple days in the workouts. And so it's kind of cool after lifting for 45 years is that I'm a kid in a candy store, in a sense, like it's Christmas. I get to get up early and just do this plan and create this art piece. And it's kind of cool to me. And that's how I get motivated at times like this. And I was just talking to one of my Titan crew members, Tim, here. And he was saying, and I know this is for everybody, when you're off season, that's the hardest thing in the world, because you have to do it for 9 months to a year of a basic diet of a surplus. And the gains are slow going. There's not huge changes compared to a cut, because when you get cut, it's just a big change, right? But you kind of get lost in that off season, and you're like, I'm off season. Maybe I can have the pizza now. Maybe I can take the week off of training. And when you see that dip, that little hiccup, it's always good to jump back on a hardcore plan and get sliced and diced.
Absolutely.
Because we always look good when we're sliced and diced.
Absolutely. That's the game plan. Stay like that 24/7.
So what do you do? Because I saw you with your shirt off.
Yeah.
I asked you to take your pants off, but you didn't do it for me. Whatever. But your shirt was off. We were doing our photo shoot here, and you look great.
Thanks, man.
And you're always, because the health and fitness is important to you, but that priority is family, the business, making sure, because you have so much on your plate. How do you stay motivated?
Honestly, I think it's ingrained. I've always been into training and everything like that. So, it's more of a mental outlet for me too as well, not just a physical. I feel a lot better when I go into the gym. There's days or a week where I might not go 3 or 4 days in a row previous. and it would just get to me. I start bottling up. I start getting really like, not angry, but like, frustrated, I guess, to a certain extent. So it's always been a mental outlet for me. So I feel a lot better after I go. Mood's a lot better. I'm just thinking a lot better. Blood's flowing, I guess. I don't know. But true motivation is, for me, is I've always wanted to look good my whole life, right? And the only way you're going to do that is if you work out and you do the proper things. And I always told myself, listen, if I was broke as a joke, at least I have my body to depend on, and I can use that for something, right?
And
So, I think that's the motivation. The motivation for me is, one, I want to make sure my health is there. I want to make sure I still look good. I want to have abs at 50 plus years old. These are different things that motivate me. Like, I just think that, being in shape, being able to exercise is a blessing because, one, you have your health. There's people out there that don't have this. They might have disabilities. They might be a vegetable. It just really, it's crazy. So I don't take that for granted at all, right? Anything I can do, because if you've ever been injured, right, or been sick or anything like that, and you're down and you can't do the training, you're kicking, you're like just gnawing at the bit, like, man, if I get this back, or please God, let me get healthy again, and I promise I'm going to be in there. I'm just going to keep rocking and rolling. And I always think about that too, because if I ever did get sick or do get sick, I take off a couple days from the gym, let my body start getting back to where it needs to, and I'm like, when I get back in there, I'm gonna hit this thing hard as hell. I'm gonna keep going at it, and I'm gonna progress back past what the regression was.
what,
That's kind of what motivates me.
you just said something that I think Jeff led on earlier today on a conversation, and I'll pick this up, but you peak differently for different things.
Right.
And I want to come back to this in a moment. I want to bring in my boy Doc here for a second. He has a question for you.
Sure.
See, what we do here at the Titan Castle is we bring the guests on the show right here. Now, Doc's been my training partner for years now, and he has a good question for you.
Sure.
So,
What's up, Doc?
How you doing?
Good, man. Good.
All right. If you're on an HCG protocol, would you say that Clomid is necessary?
No, definitely not. So you're kind of overlapping in what you're doing there. Now, Clomid's good for, igniting FSH, LH, but, as far as that goes, you really want to pick one or the other because, like I said, you're overlapping. Two things are trying to work and trying to fight for the exact same thing, and you're not going to get any more benefit out of it. If you were going to get more benefit out of it, I would say yes, go ahead, no problem. But it's really not an overlapping thing that I would do. I think it would be wasting your money. I don't think you're going to get any better result out of it. I think, if you go with Clomid, you can do that. And Clomiphene would be a better one if you're going to pick Clomid or Enclomiphene. I would go with Enclomiphene because it has less negative side effects. When I took Clomid, because I'm patient zero here. So whatever anybody else is ever going to take, I've already taken it. And I've already went through your protocol. I know exactly, or I can at least speak on my behalf on what happened to me and what I went through. And Clomid was one that I did by itself. I stayed off testosterone. I stayed off ACG. I just want to see, what is Clomid going to do for me? Clomid kept my numbers around 700 to 800. So that was good on paper. But I was having symptoms of low testosterone. I don't know why. Free wasn't through the roof, but it was mid-range. It was good. Everything else was in balance. But one negative side effect that I did get from Clomiphene was you can get dark thoughts, right? This could be suicidal thoughts. This could be other thoughts, bad, like just things you wouldn't think of. And I realized I was thinking about these things. I'm like, man, this is not me, right? This is definitely not me. So that's when I got off of it. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to do this again. I ran it for 60 days just to see how it would affect my levels and see how it would affect my mood and all the other things. But in Clomiphene, it's not like that. In Clomiphene, you'll take it. You won't have any of the negative side effects. Still boost your numbers and be good to go. ACG, I like ACG because I think ACG does a little bit, it works a little bit differently as far as that. It mimics the LH signal from the brain to the testicles instead of igniting it. So
I got a question for you.
Sure.
If this is a protocol on the process or the road to getting your sperm in the right numbers to
Yep.
have a baby,
Yep.
or to do an IGF or something like
Yep.
this, is there a recommendation for these, or is this something they should
Sure.
talk to their family doctor that is doing that
family
treatment.
doctor is not going to do it for you. You go into a family doctor and say, hey, listen, I want to take HCG for my fertility or for my sperm count. They're going to be like, no, we don't do that. You're going to have to go to
The baby doctor.
yeah, you know,
Right.
they're gonna walk you down that path and everything like that. And then if you go there, they're gonna charge you an arm and a leg to do it. So the best protocol for that is usually what we would do protocol wise for an HCG patient that wanted to get their sperm count up is, you know, at a 10,000 IU vial, you're gonna usually dilute that with 6.5 mLs, and at that point you're gonna inject 20 units, and 20 units is gonna break down to, I believe, like 367 IUs per injection, and you take that about every day. That would usually work 30 to 60 days. Then you retest the sperm analysis, which is like the mobility of the sperm, how much sperm you have, the volume.
It's just not the number, but the quality, right?
the quality,
It's
and then
the quality
movement,
of the sperm.
Right? So you want to know the volume, the quality, and then the movement of the sperm. And at that point, that's what a sperm analysis can do. We usually set that up for patients that normally do that. It works good for females too for fertility, because what it does is it literally boosts hormones in the body. That's what HCG does. And HCG is something that gets released. So when a female becomes pregnant, right? What happens is they want to make sure I'm pregnant here. So I do the little P test at home. 3 P tests come out, great. Now what happens is they go to usually a general practitioner or their gynecologist, and they're like, all right, listen, I think I'm pregnant. And what they do is they run a blood test. For the blood test, what they run is they run an HCG qualitative and quantitative, okay? And when this HCG number is higher, they can actually tell how long you've been pregnant, you know, and what the due date is kind of from that. When you tell them, hey, listen, you know, I think I've been pregnant for 3 or 4 months, and they'll see the levels of like, all right, well, you're 16 weeks pregnant or 2 weeks, whatever it is. And at that point, you know, this is what's going to happen. So HCG is really a baby making hormone. And at that point, what it does is for females, it takes all the belly fat away. This is why they use it for the HCG diet. And it starts putting it in the endometrium and starts building that for the baby to be in. That's what it does. So for guys that are running for weight loss or girls, they stay under a calorie deficit. And the original study was done on 500 calories per day, which is very, very low and very, very hard to stick by. You know, usually we would tell a patient maybe under 1,000. If you're, you know, a guy, girl, you're still going to go in a calorie deficit, and, you know, it's going to work very well. So I ran that protocol myself, and I didn't believe in the HCG protocol for weight loss when I first opened Titan. And at that point, like, I had to be down for a couple weeks, and I was like, listen, let me try this protocol and let me see what it really does. And I was really impressed by what it does. Now, is there better weight loss things out there? Yes, I think so, that can work better. But as far as for add-back therapy for testosterone patients, it's a good one, a real good one. For sexual enhancement, a really, really good one. It's going to make you a little bit more sensitive, and it's going to help you with erections. And then 3, I mean, basically, you know, HCG will help with patients, you know, trying to get those numbers back up. If they're just trying to get testosterone numbers back up and they don't want to go on testosterone, this is another option for them too as well.
You like that?
Yeah.
You look good, kid. Look at this.
But,
Look at
listen,
this. It's like a
for-
male
for-
model sitting next.
Oh, he looks sexy. I like it.
You wear blue for me?
Yes.
All right. All right. Little, what is this? Venice Vice. We bring the shows back.
But a good one for fertility, if you're going to do one, is FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. If you can do that, it's injectable. It's going to be your best bet. I mean, that will literally, that's the golden tool for fertility. But I mean, you could, if you really want to bump up fertility, you could use enclomiphene, HCG. You could double up. I just don't know how much more you're going to get out of it. That, you know, that's.
I think we lost your speaker there for a second. All right. So that was some good insight, huh?
Question, well, you can ask him when
Yeah.
Fabio comes back.
Right.
Outside of fertility and stuff, what are the other use cases of HCG?
He was saying, if I'm correct, Johnny, let me know when you're back. We can't hear you. Jeff had a question here on
He's got to click unmute.
click unmute.
No,
I do.
John has to.
Johnny does. All right.
Or,
All right, we're
There
good.
you go. Got it. From what I understand from your discussion, outside of someone that's trying to get their girl pregnant, and get their numbers up. Outside of that, it's a good fat burner. And again, belly fat also, it makes you extra horny. That was
Yep.
kind of covered in your discussion there.
Yep, absolutely.
Connection. All right, so I have another question here.
Sure.
One of the fans wanted to ask, and I thought this would be good for you because you were out of training for a little bit.
Yeah.
Took a year off. This is from Attic. Took a year off of training. The quickest way to gain my muscle back would be supersetting. Question.
I like supersetting. It just depends on what
You're so nice.
I like supersetting, but
You're so nice, Johnny.
I think that, if you're really going to try to get back into it, I think you should really focus on one muscle group at a time and then go from there. I mean, you can use 2 different muscle groups, I guess, in one day when you're training. If they're bigger muscles like chest and back or bis and tris and such. But I think that you really need to put the time into the one muscle group instead of supersetting. I'm just being honest with you. Supersetting has its place in working out, but I don't think it has its place in what you're trying to do. Different training for different things that you're trying to accomplish. And
I always like
supersetting the best thing.
I always like the statement, the quickest way. What's the quickest way? Don't tell me the way to do it. Just tell me the quickest way to do it. It's like, what universe? This is like a Marvel movie. There's different universes. Well, in this universe, you can gain it in a day, and there's no quicker way. It's just the right way. And
There's the
you
right
got
way.
memory muscle, and it's going to come back if you just eat right and train. But
Agreed.
supersetting isn't the key. That's blood flow. We want to tear the muscle down, lift some weights, slow down, eat. Give this man some water.
Sorry.
He's coughing because of that question. Yeah, the supersetting ain't going to do it. It's like saying, hey, I want to get my muscle back. I want to start doing cardio. It's like, this.
Yeah.
Yeah, eat, lift heavy.
You got to eat and you got to lift. I mean, it's what it is.
You don't need to rush through the workouts.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Got another
I
one
wouldn't
right
recommend
here.
it.
Yeah, I got one too.
You got another one, Johnny?
Yeah,
Jeffrey?
I got a question. I got a question about BPC. Let's say
Before you do, you hear Jeff okay?
Thank you, dude. Yes, I can hear. Sorry.
Okay,
about that.
good.
Let's say your knee hurts, your elbow hurts, your shoulder hurts, your ankles hurt, and everything hurts. Is there a limit to what the BPC can help fix? Is it kind of like, oh, it only works on one area at a time? Or how does that work?
Okay. BPC 157 is more site driven. So if you do inject it into different areas, you can inject it in different areas if you want to. So let's say I got a shoulder problem, I got an elbow problem, I got a knee problem. I inject BPC in my shoulder, my knee, and the other spot. It's going to work on all 3 different areas. But if we were just to inject it like in the shoulder area, it's probably not going to go throughout the body systemically, right? TB500 works systemically throughout the body. And those work synergistically together. So in theory, you can inject TB500, BPC 157 in the same syringe. The TB500 is going to work systemically throughout the body and then site-specific for the BPC. So that'd be probably the best thing. But when you flip it like that, if you're having all these pains in all these different areas, you probably have high inflammation. And that might be causing some of these different things that you're going through. So with BPC 157 and TB500, those are anti-inflammatories. Those are great ones to get rid of inflammation in the body too as well, which would help with maybe some of the pains that you're having. The other one I would say is glutathione. It's great for inflammation throughout the body too. Like a lot of people have arthritis and all that different stuff, tendonitis. These are some different things that this has helped out with. That'd probably be the best bet to do. I mean, but like I said, you're going to have to inject BPC in a couple different areas where TB500, you use that in the same syringe, it's going to work systemically, but you want to focus on the main areas that where you're really hurting.
Good.
Good.
I like that. And just for FYI, glutathione is something that I started yesterday. And
Nice.
so just to the people watching out here, and I get it from Titan Medical. And then I took your advice that I take out the syringe, and then I sit it there for a couple hours, and then
Yeah.
I do the shot.
Yeah.
Or-
Let
Yeah,
it warm
so-
up a little bit. You know, the other flip side to that is you fill that syringe up to 70 units with glutathione. The other 30 units, put in like Titan Complete or a B12 or something like that. It'll make that shot so smooth. It'll take away less of the burn as far as that goes, because glutathione or a Triimmune that has glutathione, vitamin C, and zinc in it, that one, they're highly concentrated. Okay,
I don't find the burn.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right.
It doesn't
But
hurt
see,
me.
You're
Or
a
I
Titan,
just-
that's why.
No,
You're a Titan
I'm-
soldier.
I think when you said the dark thoughts and stuff, I think I'm just kinky like that. I like the pain, so there might be. Wait a minute. What takes the dark thoughts? I'm gonna start that.
Oh, man.
Sorry, man.
Not good, man. Not good. I'm telling you. I was thinking all kinds of different things. I was like, oh, like this is not me. I was like, I better get off of this stuff. You know?
Mike's dark thought is taking down a Christmas tree.
That is no. See, now you know he knows me. He said my dark thought is taking the Christmas tree down.
Uh-oh.
That's my level of pain. You want me to squat forever? I'll do that all day long. I love that, man. So glutathione, TB, and the BPC, that's a great combination for
Yeah.
anybody and everybody out there. Again, the number's right there.
Yep.
If you have injuries, or let's do this. I'm this guy. Let's hope that you're not injured.
Yep.
This is still a protocol that I recommend to be preventative and help strengthen that body while you're still healthy. Because I think at the end of the day, I think you and I can understand this, and Doc can, is like we get to go train.
Yeah.
You know, and I always try to say there's a huge difference between getting to go train compared to have to train.
Right.
Those are two different worlds. Can you explain that to me?
Sure. Getting to train. You're excited. You're happy. You're like, oh man, I get to go train. Having to train. Damn, I got to go to the gym today. And I walk through and I'm like, man, I'm just going through my sets, like just, walking through, just doing what I got to do and I can get out of here. That's kind of what I would think how it is.
I'll go a
When
step
I-
further. You want to go first? Go first.
Yeah, please.
The person who has to train is the one who they can't function throughout their day-to-day life unless they do these things. As an example, someone who has an issue with their back, they have to go, they have to get to the gym, they have to get that muscle moving, they have to get that blood flowing so that they can continue with their day just to function on a daily basis.
I like
so
that
that's someone
better.
who has to train versus we get to train. We do it because we love it. We do it because it's fun for us. It's who we are as people, as individuals. For us, it's more like it's a privilege. It's not something that we just have to do every day in order to get through every day.
Right.
I would like to say
I like that.
there's a point in every human that it goes from I get to train to where you have to train. And trying to elongate that difference as long as you possibly can is the point of my life and what I try to teach. Try to put off the have to as far down the road as you possibly can. Robbie Robinson doesn't have to. He
Right.
still gets to, and he's 80.
Right.
I want that.
Right.
And if you guys can't comprehend what I'm saying right now, then maybe this is not the person to follow, because I know that I still have healthy shoulders and back and legs and knees. Great. So if I keep training because I love it, I can push that I have to train to stay alive, to
Right.
keep that muscle, to keep that bones and structure.
Right.
And if you guys don't understand, again, deterioration is when you start going down. And the one thing to stop that deterioration is lifting. And so, again, the testosterone, when it drops, that's going to start weakening everything.
Yep.
And so what we're trying to teach right now is let's stay in the we get to instead of we have to. And the have to is the guys with high cholesterol, the problems, the heart problems, the bad knees and the hips. So you should go to the gym to get just moving.
Right.
That's the have tos. We don't want that. But if you do have that, again, Titan Medical can help you with a protocol to at least help you and give you that support to get the best shape of your life.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense to you, Johnny?
It makes total sense to me. It's a good point on both sides. I mean, like I said, I had a different perspective on it, but I think you guys' perspective is a lot better than mine. And,
You're younger than us.
It is what it is.
I'm double nickels and Doc's 74, so
You looking good. Genetics, baby. Genetics and training.
black don't crack, baby. He'll look 22 his whole life. Oh my
That's
gosh.
awesome. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, the training thing, you know, even for those people that need to train or have to train, half those people don't do that. They just, I mean, seriously. You know,
But they're in pain. That's why.
I know. No, or they just don't feel good either. Like, you know, there's people that have heart issues, cardiovascular problems and disease. They're on maybe beta blockers, they're on different things that have run them down per se, and they don't feel the energy like a normal person would. And then they can't go take a stimulant because that's going to go against their cardiovascular problem. So they're not drinking an energy drink or an ECA or a pre-workout or anything like that. So it's harder for them to get motivated per se. And then a lot of those people, if they have those health problems, they might not be on hormone optimization because they might not be healthy enough to do so. So now they have low testosterone, they have these different health issues, their energy levels suck, and they're just like, man, I don't have the energy to go train. I know I should, but I just can't do it. Or they're in so much pain, you know, because their knees, their backs, whatever it is, that they're like, I just can't do this. But, you know, at that point, that would probably be better for them because we know that the more you sit around and you don't do anything, you're inactive, the worse things are going to deteriorate at a faster rate. The more active you are, the better you're going to be. It's like a car that sits. A car sits forever. It's going to dry rot tires. It's going to have all these other problems. Fluids are going to go through all these crazy things. Same thing with your body. The more active you are, the better you're going to be. 100%.
Who's he remind you of right now? Surge.
Yeah.
These guys, trust me, these guys could talk about cars all day long. You and my boy Serge over here. So it's just
Yeah,
I love
mean,
it.
I just give it as an example because everybody knows a car. Everybody usually has driven a car, so they understand. Like, oh, okay.
No, I love
really
it.
Technical, like.
I love it. Someone has a question here. It says glutathione, best overall shot.
Sure.
Now, is that a statement or is he asking?
Right.
Your statement?
Yeah, stay.
I got that. I love that. Okay. But if I have to, I'm gonna be that 30-year-old. What is the best shot for someone that has low testosterone?
Testosterone.
That's it.
That's gonna be. I mean, they're gonna go on a program. They're gonna go on testosterone. They're gonna go on a aromatase inhibitor, most likely, and then they're gonna go on some sort of ABAC therapy. So when we talk about ABAC therapy, I'm talking about like clomiphene or HCG now. Hopefully that'll be coming back. Another one that was a peptide was Kisspeptin, that what people were using when HCG went away.
Okay.
Kisspeptin's
So it's
a
a
very good one,
derivative.
too.
It's similar for them.
Yes. So Kisspeptin, but at that point, like those are the three medications you'd go on if you had low testosterone, you were a 30-year-old male or female. Female would be different, a little bit different, because males are really easy to dial in. Males are like, all right, listen, we take the testosterone, we balance the estrogen, everything's good with the testicles as far as no shrinkage, all semen production, all that's good. But females, you start dialing females, you better dial them in right. And you better not go too extreme on one end or the other. And the reason I say this is females are more inept to complain about what's going on. And I love my females out there, but you know, they'll say it's true. If they gain weight, pound 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds, if they break out with any acne, their mood goes down, sleep goes down, anything changes abruptly in a negative way, they're going to be really upset about it. So, you know, you have to dial them in a little bit slower. But once you have them dialed in, male or female, then it's ready to rock and roll. You have the dosages, they're taking the dosages. As long as they're consistent with their medication, they'll have the consistent result of everything going well. It's when they start changing things around. Like, you have some people like, they'll call in. We check on our patients every 28 days, no matter what. So we'll say, hey, listen, how's everything going? How's your therapies running? Are you having any good results or what's going on? And we tell them to always be as brutally honest with us as possible. Tell us exactly what's going on so we can help. Because if we need to tweak some things, we can tweak some things. We need a blood test, we can do it. So usually, at that point, we'll look at things and be like, hey, listen, this has changed. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, I upped my dose of testosterone. Like, why did you do that? Oh, I didn't know if it was working or not. I didn't feel the boost yet and everything like that. So I'm like, well, you just upped your testosterone and we didn't know about this, you're staying on the same thing as far as your estrogen blocker, which some people lower their testosterone or raise their testosterone without telling us. Well, if you're taking less testosterone, you probably don't need as much as aromatase inhibitor. And that's probably why you're feeling this negative way now, because your estrogen is probably bottomed out. Your testosterone might be at a good level, but if your estrogen's bottomed out, you're going to have these negative side effects and feel like this. Or they bump up their testosterone, the aromatase inhibitor might not be enough, and now they have negative side effects because of that. Now they have water retention, they're irritable, you know.
See, look at that. The balance.
So it's all about a harmonic balance in the body. You know, people think that, oh, testosterone's low, and general practitioners have this mindset where if it's broke, we fix it. If it's not broke, we don't mess with it.
Yeah.
So they look at just testosterone, like, oh, it's broke, let's do testosterone. And they up the testosterone, they put the testosterone in the patient. Now the patient comes back and feels great for the first month. Now, at 3 months down the line, he's got water retention, irritability, and then he's on his way to possible gynecomastia. And when they get gynecomastia, it's not just say, oh, I'm just going to take this drug and it's going to get rid of gynecomastia. You're going to have surgery to get rid of the gynecomastia. You know, I mean, I don't know how many patients have went through here where, you know, they went to the general practitioner, they were getting their testosterone covered by insurance. That's awesome. But now they don't feel as good, and their labs show that they have high estrogen, and now they have gynecomastia. And then we have to break it to them and tell them, hey, listen, they're like, oh, yeah, I got some fat around here. I'm like, you feel their nipple, you feel the lump, and you're like, you hate to say it to somebody, but you got to tell them what's honestly going on. Yeah, feel the lumps.
Feeling your
Hopefully
nipples.
you don't have any lumps. I don't have any lumps, thank God. But, you know, that's what it is. And gynecomastia surgery, and it necessarily doesn't mean that somebody has to take anabolic steroids to get gynecomastia. You know, that's the common assumption out there. It can be done by different things. If you take different medications, like some antidepressants, this can form gynecomastia. So at that point, like, there's different things that, you know, people could be doing and not doing steroids or testosterone, whatever it may be, and they still get gynecomastia and they still have to deal with it. So it's just something we have to look after.
This is off topic. We don't have to go into this, but I know that going through puberty causes that for some kids as well.
Yeah.
It's a different one because of the fact that there is no surgery to get rid of that. That does go away. That's a puberty reaction, which is it's an interesting thing.
It really is an interesting thing, and let me tell you, because I'm firsthand experienced it with Peter. And you know, I never thought I was deal with this because I never got it as a kid. Right? My brother never got it as a kid. Nobody I know got it as a kid. The only people I knew that had something like that were obese kids at that point in time. And when we went to school back in the day, there wasn't that many obese kids in your class.
Right.
Usually you pick out one or two, and well, there's a fat kid in class or whatever it is. And at that point, that's how it rolled. But now you got a majority. You know, you got 60% of people out there that are obese or overweight. So that translates into kids too as well. So when you go look at a school, you can see it. And I drop my kid off at school every day. So back to the Peter thing. So Peter was growing up, maybe 11 or 12. I think it was 12 when it first started coming around. Peter started getting gynecomastia.
Leave that on there.
Freaked me out, dude. I was like, you know, what are we going to do? I was like, let me blood test him. I brought him into Titan real quick, and we don't do kids, but I was like, this is my kid. I'm going to blood test him. So ran the blood on him. I ran all his levels, estradiol levels. I mean, everything, full gamut on him. Everything came back good.
Everything came back normal.
I'm like, man, I am really like, this is what I do for a living. I was like, you know, I can help any person out there. When it comes to my kid, I was like, man, I'm like really touchy about what's going to go on. So I take him to the pediatrician. I'm like, all right, so listen, my kid's got gynecomastia. I was like, they're like, oh, this is normal. You know, me and Sharice are looking this up. We're researching this. 50% of kids go through this. Now, sometimes it goes away, majority of the times, and sometimes it does stay, or it stays on one side and not the other. So the doctor's like, listen, let him go to at least 14 years old, because I literally looked into it. Because Peter, you know, we go, you know, to the beach, we go to the pools and stuff like that, and the kid didn't want to take off his shirt at a certain age. That, to me, and my kid's in shape, you know, that's a mental confidence thing. And it just hurt me. So I did find a couple surgeons that would do the surgery on him, because they said that, listen, we can cut out the area, and at that point, you know, he'll never get gynecomastia again. And I was like, this is an option, but I was like, you know, I was obviously discussing with Peter, I was discussing with his mom, Sharice, and we're like, all right, well, let's just see how this goes, right? So we'd like to see how it goes, and it has got better for sure. Like it's not like it was really bad at one point, and he didn't have like he's never fat. He's never been fat. He's never been like super big, but the nipples would curve. I'm like, man, this is horrible. I don't want my kid to have to be like this. Going to a pool party with one of his friends, he has to wear a shirt to go in the pool. He's not fat. He's not overweight. Like that sucks. Especially for an athlete, like that sucks. Nobody wants to go through that life like that, especially as a kid.
But that's puberty, man. Come on now.
That's puberty.
It's acne. It's
Yeah.
growing so much and yeah. Something like that. But
I definitely understand it. It's just it's tough as a parent because especially my livelihood and what we do. I'm like, damn. I was like, I can dial somebody else in like this, but my own kid, I was like, I can't do this right now. I was like, what's the matter with me? And
so
you're
for your
afraid,
parents
too.
at home, if you do have questions about this, touch base with Titan Medical. There's John and his staff that will answer questions for you if you're a parent and you're worried or you have questions. That being said, I have somebody on here. Go for it, Jeffrey.
64 years old. What do you think about adding DHEA and pregnenolone and letting your body make its own testosterone?
Go for it, Johnny.
Will not do it. I don't care if you take these drugs and you take them, let's say DHEA, you take 100 milligrams a day, which normal dose is usually 25. Pregnenolone, you can take it all you want. These are not going to raise your testosterone levels like you guys think. I know DHEA is a sex hormone. It'll work a little bit, possibly, in bumping the numbers, but, you're talking about 50 to 100 points. Your DHEA is going to be through the roof, yes. Pregnenolone is not going to raise testosterone levels. So, if you have low testosterone levels and you're going to take this protocol, I would go ahead. Try it yourself to see.
See, I was hoping you were going to say that because I would say that.
Say like, I know
fine.
everything.
Go do a blood test. If you call over right now, I'm asking Titan Medical, will you give a discount if they go, hey, I'm from Titan?
Of course.
And okay, so go get a blood test, get a discount, use my name.
Yep.
And then take it for 3 months and then do the blood test again. Your question will be answered at that point. But keep in mind, at the end of that, if it didn't raise enough to where you're more energetic and you're, at that point, then talk to John over at Titan Medical on what would be the next step.
Absolutely.
I'm cool with you doing the blood work, trying it. I believe, like Johnny said at the beginning of the show, anything and everything that they have for a protocol for something to try, Johnny's tried.
Definitely.
And so, again,
I
don't mind you giving up 3 months of your life to test it, or skip it. And in 3 months, if you listen to Johnny, maybe you're going to be in a position that you're going to be like, well, I'm glad I didn't waste those 90 days.
Yeah.
And I'm actually hitting 2024 like a savage.
That's what you want to do. If you have low testosterone at 64 years old, it's going to be hard for that to ever boost back up. Naturally, especially. It's not like a battery.
Hey, I'm almost that age. Be nice.
Hey,
Jeez.
different people at different levels, at different states of their life.
I said he was nice. Didn't I say that John was nice?
You see how he recovered.
Yeah. You see that? Now he goes backstep. Oh, my God.
It's so true. Listen, at 30 years old, the clinical data tells us that we're going to lose 1% of testosterone every year. The difference in that is one 30-year-old might be at one point at one level, and the other 30-year-old might be at another point at that level and downer. So you're going to be losing 1% maybe, but you're already at a lower level, so you're going to be at a lower level of testosterone than that guy is. I've seen 23-year-olds lower than 55-year-olds in testosterone levels, right? So it really depends on the person, and everybody's different. That's why the blood test is so key to see where you're at. Not what the person's at. Oh, I'm 30, he's 30. I'm at that number. Then that's not true, right? So you really got to look at the numbers and the people and blood tests and kind of see where it's at, and then you can kind of go from there. It's why it's a personalized regimen. If it was a cookie cutter regimen, everybody get the exact same thing going across the board for everything.
We got another question right down there.
The weed is killing my sperm cells.
Is this true? Not true? Is this a myth? I always was told. I mean, I've been in Gold's Gym Venice, and I know most of those guys would work out and then go home and hit a fatty.
Yeah.
Is that what they call? Is that what the kids call it? A little fatty.
Yeah. They're probably hitting joints, blunts, whatever it is. Listen, I know there's a lot of clinical data as far as marijuana goes. And the marijuana is supposed to raise estrogen levels, supposed to kill sperm cells. I've read through some of it. I haven't read through all of it. I'm sure there's more new data out there. Only thing I say is that I know a lot of people that smoke a lot of marijuana, and they get their pregnant, girlfriend or wife, no problem. So at that point, if it is killing sperm cells, I don't think it's killing at the volume that's gonna make you infertile to a sense where you can't get your partner pregnant. And when we talk about killing off sperm cells, we got to talk about other major medications out there that are doing the exact same thing that people might be taking. It's all about risk versus reward to this point. And I don't think smoking marijuana is going to do detrimental damage as far as fertility wise or hormone wise. Like I said, I know a lot of people smoke a lot of marijuana, so I blood test them and see where their levels come back as, because I'm interested in what's going on.
I have
I never
a
see it.
slightly different approach on most of this stuff. Just I'm an
What do you
odd
think?
cat. My point of view on this is I've seen the most pinnacle of athletes drink beer,
Yep.
smoke, stay up late, sleep 4 hours a day, eat Pringles, they look like superheroes, and they actually legitly are, basically, because of the top tier. Then I've seen guys eat clean and train hard and give it all their very best, and they look like shit. I'm sorry.
It's true.
It's unfortunately that's the real reality of life. And so as soon as you start comparing, and I know there's so much data, but the data does not matter to you, the individual.
It doesn't.
It's just
It doesn't.
the world doesn't work that way.
It doesn't.
John's kid is 13, 14, and is taller than me.
Yeah, he's big.
So it's just people are born different. There's guys that can do it
Yep.
and not do it. So it really just comes down to you on what you want to do, and it really does. If you want to eat clean, eat clean. If you don't, it doesn't bug me any.
You're absolutely right on that. I mean, look at Ocho Cinco, what he was saying. He eats McDonald's every day. He ate McDonald's every day during his training, right? The average person shouldn't be doing that. And it was not a top tier athlete that's on an NFL team starting. So it's just crazy with, different people, like you said, different things work and different things don't work. It just is what it is.
I got to
It's
say
the cards
this
you're
one.
dealt to a certain extent.
Reggie Bush, Heisman Trophy winner.
That's another one.
Good looking cat, great
Of course.
body.
Of course.
So Heath Evans, my training partner, works out with him, trains with him, has for decades, since he was a teenager. Eats terrible, just does the McDonald's things, does all that. Looks like a Greek god. So again, it goes back to, well, he's a pro football player. That's irrelevant. Yeah, I know guys that work out harder than pro football players. I know
Yeah.
guys that do MMA and they train
Right.
all day long and they look like shit.
Yep.
And they diet right and they train 8 hours a day.
Yep.
It's crazy. And they still look bad. It's
Yep.
just your genetics. So it has to come from you and be the best version of you. So
Right.
I know the weight question was, but it's for anybody out there. So
I like it.
if somebody goes, I don't want to do testosterone. Okay, don't. But if you do have bad testosterone, if you're not living the optimal life, then walk that and talk to John and the team over there and go, hey, I would like to be better.
Right.
That's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about quality of life and living a good quality of life for as long as you can. Living the best you possibly can. I know we talk about it all the time, but if I'm stuck on this earth and I'm here for 80 years and I'm living my best life, and I wasn't living my best life and I lived at 90, I'm like, man, do I really want those 10 years, of really feeling bad or not good, No, I want to kick ass every single day. That's why I'm here. I got one ride on this ride, and that's it. And when I get off this ride, I'm done. So at that point, I'm going to give it full blast. I'm going to go 110%, whatever I'm doing. And that's it. This is how I'm wired, and I understand, life is precious. Time is precious. The people you have around you, cherish them, because you never know when it's going to be your last, the time with them and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, you got to do it. You got to do it for yourself, man. You got to understand, listen, if you're just sitting around every day, you ain't doing shit, and you want more, you got to kick yourself in the ass and say, listen, what am I going to do to get more? And go out there and do it.
We got another one with that right there. Jeffrey?
Hey Titan, for those of us that aren't ready to take something like the potion, what would you recommend for a pre-workout?
Sure.
So would the potion be the Hercules potion? Is that what he's recommending or something?
I don't know if it's their potion
think
or your
maybe he's
potion.
talking
Right.
Oh, I got you.
Let's assume it's the Hercules potion.
Let's assume it's the Hercules potion.
Sure.
Is there a recommendation that you have?
Sure, absolutely. So if you're not ready to take Hercules potion, which is only an amino acid injectable with a little insulin needle, that's fine, no problem. What can you use?
I'm
for
ready.
pre-work? Huh?
I'm ready to take the Hercules
Ready?
potion.
It's coming to you. That
is it
MK's
coming
on the way
FedEx?
to you.
I needed
I
it
got
yesterday.
everything coming for you. It's on its way, bro. You get. I
Keep
can't
hearing that
wait.
it's on its way. It's on.
I
Mo, is it
can't
there?
wait.
Is it
It's
here
on
yet?
its way. 100%. 100%. I made sure of it. All of Levine, I got everything coming your way. I can't wait for some of
Cupid's
this.
corner, not Cupid's corner. What is it?
Cupid's candy.
Cupid's
candy.
No.
I got that. I got the Superman's coming for you. The Iron Man's coming for you. They're all coming.
Jeez
So
Louise.
you better
We
tell
are
Mona
partying.
to be ready because she's going to be the one taking the abuse.
Mona,
per
you
se.
ready? You're not ready. Call some friends. I'm coming. I ain't playing around here.
So what would I recommend for a pre-workout if you're not taking Hercules potion? So if you're worried about injectables and you don't want to take nothing like that, if you're looking for energy, because pre-workouts, they cover a couple of different things, right? Most people take pre-workouts because they want some sort of stimulation because they're tired, right? Some people take it because they want the pump. Some people want both, or recovery, or whatever else is in those things, because I don't take pre-workouts, sorry. But what I would take is ECA Stack Plus. Real ephedrine, caffeine, aspirin, B12, and chromium.
How do you
So-
get real ephedrine?
So, real ephedrine was banned before because it was sold over the counter. Athletes were taking it. Some athletes actually died from dehydration, abusing it. So,
That was
it
a
went
big
off of-
90s, big 80s, 90s.
big time.
Yeah.
Big time. So, the only other medication people were taking out there were Bronchade, and Bronchade has real ephedrine in it, but it has all the other cold medicines in it too as well. The way that you can get real ephedrine, that we get real ephedrine, is it has to be prescribed. And if it's prescribed,
Sure.
you can get it from a real U.S. licensed pharmacy. So real ephedrine HCl can come from a real licensed pharmacy, and they can compound it. And that's what when I thought about it in the beginning when we were putting everything together. Everybody was taking phentermine or fetramethrazine, and these are FDA-approved appetite suppressants, but they're abused big time, and they only have a little bit of relevance as far as for weight loss. Everybody takes them for weight loss, but they're supposed to be for an appetite suppressant. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to help you train yourself to eat smaller portion meals and better food sources because you're not as hungry. People don't use that. They use it as a crutch, and then they start abusing it and going on it. The longer you stay on it, the bigger the tolerance raised on it. So it doesn't work as well. You got to take more of it. The other issues are it can cause cardiovascular problems. And this is something you want to stay away from. Nervous system issues, cardiovascular issues. So it's not good. It's just not a good way to do weight loss. Okay. So I said, listen, what has worked in the past? And, obviously the ECA stack has been around for a long time, especially in the bodybuilding and fitness world. So I said, what can we do to make this better? So I said, listen, we'll do real ephedrine, we'll do the chromium, we'll do aspirin and caffeine, and then B12. So adding the B12 and the chromium on it made the plus. So that's why we call it ECA Stack Plus. So it supports more weight loss and more energy effect for the patient. But they're very good. I mean, and everybody has a different sensitivity to stimulants. So some people can take a lesser amount and be fine. Some people take a higher amount and they're not as fine. They have the jitters, heart palpitations. They start feeling nauseous, get anxious. You do not want to be like that. You want to have clear energy, clarity, mind thinking, and a boost in mood. And that's what the ECA Stack Plus will do for you. And it's a way better, substitute or option than any pre-workout on the market because you know exactly what's going to come in it. It's not going to make you want to go to the bathroom after you go to the gym. You're like, damn, I got to go to the bathroom. I feel nauseous. I don't feel good. So that's what I would recommend. ECA Stack
That's
Plus.
great to know, though. That turns me on. That one.
Yeah.
That's an
One a
amazing
day.
one for you guys out there
Yeah.
that are slicing up. Or, well, it's ironic. We're doing the 30-day blitz, and we're trying to get
yeah.
rid of that body fat and get sliced and
Oh,
get
yeah.
lean as can be.
Yep.
And even this question here says, are striations just a matter of body percentage? It is.
Yeah.
And it's a combination of both. It's lower body fat and also the muscularity that you have.
Absolutely.
So, but 30-day blitz with, I still go with the Hercules potions as well. But
Oh, yeah.
slice and dice time, man, we're
Oh,
in
yeah.
it.
That's
So
right.
for anybody that's in here in the Titan crew that's doing the 30-day blitz, touch base with Titan Medical today and talk to those guys about a protocol.
Yeah, we got all different types of options for weight loss, and there's a lot more big ones coming. Semaglutide, tirzepatide, those things are dominating as far as weight loss, and there's bigger, badder, bad boys that are coming over that in this next year.
I got a question for you for myself. I started glutathione. Do I do one a day or twice a day?
I would do one a day.
Okay.
Usually the protocol for glutathione is if you have ALT, AST, which are liver enzymes, and they're high, usually we do a protocol of like 14 days straight every day. But
Johnny,
usually,
what are my numbers on those two?
they were good, actually. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to look up the
Yeah.
exact numbers of what they were, but they were good.
They're
I
both
can't wait for everybody
under.
to see the real consultation, because that's
Yeah.
coming, you guys. I'm sure everybody's excited to see that.
Yeah, they're gonna go. Hey, you're taking glutathione to get your numbers down. Sorry, guys, your numbers already down below.
That's right. That's right. Who
285
cares? Even if your numbers
pound
were
beast with good liver and kidneys. That's crazy.
That's huge. That's huge. Like the other day, I did a blood test for one of my people that came in here. Huge guy, right? He's like 26, 27 years old. He's got a family. I'm talking about he's a big dude, like 6'3", jacked. I mean, just looks great. And, he's like, listen, John, it's like, I need to do a blood test. And I was like, I'm just not feeling good. So I'm like, all right, cool. Come in the office. Came in the office this week, did the blood test. I got the results back. I sent them to him immediately. And I'm like, listen, man, there's a lot of things that are out of whack here. A lot of things that are concerning. One of the biggest things I said that was concerning to me, and there was a lot, but his kidney functions, his EGFR, his abundant creatinine. His EGFR was at a 46, okay? And if people don't know what the hell that is, they're like, oh, what the hell is a 46? You can start looking up chronic kidney disease, okay?
What's the number normally? What's on the chart says you should be between 5 and 20?
You should be above 59. There's no
Above
reference range.
59.
Above a
And so,
59.
okay, so that's one of those numbers that his number was below.
Yes.
I
Yes.
see. Your
Like
body
usually-
should be functioning at a higher level.
Yeah, so the higher number on that, the better your kidney is working. So if a guy has 109, shit, man, your kidney's working awesome. If it's working 90, it's working great. 80, all right, cool. When you start getting a little bit low, like 60, then we start getting to the chronic kidney disease stages. And this is something to really watch out for. Especially, when I started talking, I said, listen, what's going on here? What are you, dehydrated? Because dehydration can cause a problem with that, and it can lower numbers. But then I'm like, what? He's like, I have high blood pressure now. I'm like, dude, you got to get this under check. Because there's a lot of people that have high blood pressure and don't know about it. They don't know because their face doesn't turn red. They don't get lightheaded. And there's none of these symptoms that are going on. But they're high blood pressure all day. And then they work out. It goes even higher. So at that point, the high blood pressure, that's a silent killer. And it will directly affect the kidneys. And it will just pound the shit out of your kidneys and scar them up. And they will not work properly. And you're just doing more damage by the day. More damage by the day. So that was a big thing, for me to look at.
Was he
for a younger guy.
receptive? Was he receptive to the information? Because I first of all hate the fact that he only went in after he felt bad. I wish he would have, maybe he did. Maybe I'm wrong. But
No.
just for anybody out there, don't wait till you're freaking feeling bad. Find out
Yeah.
what's going on today.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the simplest thing. Like Jeff said, it took us 18 minutes to go from my house over to get the blood work and back
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Done. And we filmed it and we took our time. So it's
Yeah.
like, come on now.
Yeah.
Get it
I
done.
mean,
So when he got the information, was he receptive to going, okay, I need to take care of this?
no. There was so many different things off. Hemoglobin, hematocrit, red blood cell count was through the roof. So obviously I'm like, all right, your testosterone's through the roof, your estrogen's through the roof. When I start seeing things like this, prolactin's through the roof, you're taking substances, right? I would suggest you stop some of these substances that you're taking, right? And start really getting your blood markers correct or where they need to be. And then if you want to continue on after that, at least you got things in check.
That one.
His response was, oh, I'm on MPP, I'm on these things, ha ha, like kind of laughing it off. And I'm like, listen, because I've dealt with all types of people that have had kidney problems and are no longer here. And I'm like, listen, like that's the one thing. If somebody's liver came back in triple digits, I wouldn't be as worried. Because I'm like, listen, glutathione will knock that shit out in 14 days. I've seen it. I've done it. I know. But kidneys, there ain't nothing that's going to rejuvenate like that. Unless you take total stress off them. And that's really, really hard to do. So, he wasn't receptive to it. And listen, if you see blood markers, I didn't want to freak him out. But I wanted to get it through him to like, hey, listen, this is a major concern for me. And it should be a major concern for you. You think you can fix it? I would start doing it right now. But, you freak people out like, hey, listen, you're in chronic kidney disease. You're in like stage 2, maybe stage 3 coming up. At that point, that's scary shit. Because you're going to go on dialysis very shortly, and then you're going to need a kidney transplant. And I'm going through that with my dad right now, and I'm telling you guys, it is not a fun thing to do. I mean, just for dialysis, you have to go into their dialysis. You have 2 options for dialysis. You have one where you go in dialysis center 2 to 3 times a week, and they have a port built into you, and they connect to your port, and you're in there for like 2 or 3 hours, and they're recycling the blood and going through the machine. The other way, you have to be home, and you have to do it every single day, and you can do it yourself with a machine, and at that point, you sleep through it, and you still have to do it every single day, and that only lasts for so long, and at that point, you're screwed, and you have to find another key. So, the blood testing is very serious, guys, and I would recommend a blood test at least 2 times a year, just to see what's going on to make sure everything's right.
Another question here was how to lower blood pressure.
All right, so there's a couple different ways that I've learned through the years. One is meditation. Meditation's a really good one. I don't know, people like laugh about meditation, whatever it is.
I want to see you sit.
Lower blood pressure.
I'd like to see you sit for 30 minutes and meditate. I'd like to see this guy.
So I don't meditate. I don't meditate.
I'm not going
to meditate.
You don't need to lower your blood pressure though.
I mean, listen, I had a little bit of high blood pressure, right? There's 2 ways that I would do it. One, I can literally close my eyes. I don't know if it's a form meditation or not, but I don't sit there for 30 minutes like that. But I can sit wherever I'm at.
What do they do like this?
Close my eyes, and I can picture myself in the beach and on the sand sitting there. I can feel sand between my toes, and I can hear the waves crash. And I just focus in on that point. I can lower down blood pressure like that. I've done it a million times. For me, though, I did have high blood pressure. It does run in my family and everything like that. I've tried to change diet. Obviously, I exercised the whole 9, but it was still a little bit high. So for me, I take 10 milligrams of lisinopril. 10 milligrams of lisinopril for me, it's very light. It's not going to have any negative effect as far as the erections, blood flow, or anything like that. But it's got me to where I don't need to look at it every single day and be like, oh, is my blood pressure high or is it not high? It's consistently good. Whether, I'm in a situation of high pressure or I'm just chilling at home laying in bed. Because usually when you're laying down, you're relaxed, that's when your blood pressure should be at the all-time lowest.
All right. Well, that was a lot of. We covered a lot here today.
I love it.
We covered that Johnny meditates. I've never seen it. That he pictures himself on the beach, and so do I. It's interesting. But we're gonna go to Greece and do that.
I can't wait.
Yeah, you guys don't even know about this stuff. But the great thing is, I'm gonna jump back to the beginning of the show and talking about the possibilities of you teaming up with a new, I guess she's called fulfillment or pharmacy that's going to be able to get us some extra peptides and stuff like that for a period of time. So this is crazy good news.
This is superior good news today. When I seen ACG on there, I was like, this can't be right. And I called the territorial manager. I was like, hey, this is John from Type Medical. Oh, because he knew exactly who I am. I'm like, hey, I'm interested in what you guys sent me. I'm sorry it took me 20 or 30 days, whatever, to get back to you, but I do want to talk about this, and is this still available? When the dude told me it's still available and he'd love to work with us, I'm like, hey, listen, send me over the paperwork. I'll get everything filled out, and we'll get going on this because, they wanted to fly me out to the pharmacy because usually what I do, so you guys all know this, is I don't just test the therapies. I literally go to every pharmacy we've been to, and I inspect the pharmacy. And I've been doing this for so long, I really know what to look for, guys. So I'm looking how their fulfillment process is, who's doing the verifications on the medications, because what should be happening is when they're fulfilling these medications, they're fulfilling a lot of these different medications for a lot of different places. quality accounts. They have farm techs in there, and they're just distributing exactly how many quantity wise. And usually a pharmacist looks at the medication, counts out the medication, verifies the medication, and then goes to another pharmacist to make sure that what he's seeing was correct. So that's just one thing. Their process of how they make the different things, their sterile rooms and all that. So I'm going to definitely go check it out, make sure everything is good there. But if everything is good, then we're going to be rock and rolling very shortly on some of these different things.
I love it. I love it, Johnny. Thanks for hanging out today. Someone here says, oh, it's our boy, James. James, is MK Peptides.
Yes,
Looking
sir.
for it.
So got MK677. All you have to do is call or text 727-389-3220. There's no blood work needed for MK677 or any of our peptides, but I always recommend, hey, listen, even with MK, if you want to test your IGF-1 levels beforehand, see where they're at, and then, after 30 days, you can retest the IGF-1 levels, and I guarantee if you're at MK677, they're going to be boosted up for sure, 100%.
James, get going on that. Touch base with them.
Definitely.
Tell them the Titan sent you over there. And then also
right.
for you, let's jump back in this new Blitz Volume 2 for you, because I want to get you even more sliced. This is one of the Titan crew members who's on it. He does great. He posts his forms and all his workouts over on the Titan crew. That's a private group for anybody that's really wants to sit and talk with me and the team. And John is part of that. And we'll be talking to you guys and doing a private room with you guys, trying to give you some one-on-one time to talk about peptides and optimizing your health with Titan Medical.
Absolutely. Can't wait, man. Hope you guys are hitting that blitz. Let's go.
Oh, Johnny, thank you, my man.
Absolutely. I'm all in, man. I love it. I love the motivating of people, especially, listen, New Year's is coming, guys. Don't wait. Get on the train right now. Get on the track. Start it rolling. So at New Year's, you look better than all your friends going back to the gym for that first time, trying to get their resolution in place. You'll be far ahead, and then just progress even more and be far ahead of them even more at that point.
Yeah, I want you guys walking in like New Year's Day, eating a pizza, going, all right, wait, I'm already in shape. Relax, dog.
I love it, man. Yeah, we got some good contests coming up here in the future, too.
Well, go for that one.
Team Titan Quest, I'm 39 and I've been drinking for the past 3 years every day. But I think I could counter it by cycling. And I think I counter it by cycling every day and drinking water and lots of coffee, and I feel just perfect.
Okay. So, drinking for the past 3 years. All right. So if you're drinking, you're trying to counter it by something else. Listen, we know a couple things, right? Yeah, alcohol is okay to drink, I guess, in moderation. I might drink here or there. I don't drink a lot anymore. Because, one, we know it's going to slow down your gains, for sure, 100%. You're just trying to counterbalance and counteract what's kind of going on. I would probably try to limit the drinking, if possible, and start replacing with something at a healthier side, and then watching your results get even better. Just because you think you're counteracting the problem of what you're doing doesn't mean that you're getting ahead. So are you staying still, or are you still falling behind? That's the thing.
That's an interesting one, because we know that alcohol is a toxin, and your liver and kidneys cleans it out after you drink. Until it's cleaned out, which takes, I think, the studies show like 48 hours. Your kidneys and liver don't utilize protein the same.
Right.
And so what you're saying is, what you're not saying is that that's cool that you're trying to balance it out, but your body's not utilizing the food that you're eating because you're not dieting, right? Because your body's not using the food, right? And we talked about this earlier. You could be a perfect diet and still have. So that's just a weird concept to go, I want to be able to play and not give that up. I'll just do some extra work. It's the person that goes in going, I got to do an extra hour of cardio because I had a pizza last night. It's like, It's just a mind approach that I don't want to go down that road with this conversation. If you want to drink, cool. We want to work with people that want, I need sweat equity. I want you guys to go, hey, I'm going to give up this so I can achieve this. I don't want to baby these guys and go, oh, I still get to eat my food, my pizzas and whatever, and play around and drink and then I'll do your workout. I don't want that. I don't want that around me.
Yeah, you can't do that, guys. Any person that's been successful, Mike, me, anybody else out there, right? They've had to sacrifice things to get to where they wanted to be. Whether it was, listen, you didn't get to go out as much because you were training, eating right, you don't want to be distracted by that thing, you know, you were focusing on work and your job and your career and nothing else social. There's sacrifices you're going to make to get what you want. And if you don't want to make those sacrifices and you want to cave in on everything, you're not going to get what you want. You're just not. And if you are, you're lucky. You're very lucky. Let's put it that way.
39. That's the mentality of, I'm still young. It's, dude, you're 40 years old.
39?
Dude, yeah, that's what the guy said. He said he was 39, he's drinking, but don't worry about it. He's drinking and cycling. So he's taking care of it. That's just I can't talk to that individual. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. We're leaving on that note. I want you guys that want to freaking get better. I want you guys to go, I'm sick of being tired, lazy, not motivated. Call Titan Medical.
Yeah.
Get going. Talk to them. Get your blood work done. Maybe you don't have to do anything. Maybe you do. But either way, give them a call. See what's going on with your blood work. And just make sure that you guys are healthy, because that's the point of going forward here. Are we
100%.
healthy?
100%. That's
Johnny?
what we're here for.
Rockstar, thanks for hanging.
Of course,
Man,
it's always good.
I appreciate you guys.
I got good-looking friends, right?
You do.
He's the
You do. I
lead,
like it.
Dang. Thanks, Johnny.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Mike, Jeff, everybody, Art. Thank you guys. I appreciate all you guys, man. Have a kick-ass rest of your Titan Tuesday. And I'll see you guys next week.
Bye, buddy.
Peace.
Later, man.
Doc, final questions?
I can't think of any. Do you have any in the?
Looking for Tadalafil, extra strength.
No.